Good morning. We're gonna do an August walk around with our gardens.
Yeah, we're gonna give you a quick show of the flower gardens and more so the vegetable gardens. Just kind of the last hurrah of the season. Everything's at its peak, so we want to give you a look at it.
Here we go.
Enjoy.
And I like that.
Everything's just bursting. Dahlias up there. So we have lots to pick and preserve and lots of things to make. Just letting these get nice and ripe in the sun for a couple days. I'm gonna make a big old garden sauce. Beggy. Love this spot. Alright, here's our first garden. We have lots of like herbs and dill over here. And some cabbage to pick. We made some sauerkraut like the old-fashioned way, letting it ferment. And I'm gonna try to make some like pickled cabbage, like with vinegar. We picked a whole bunch of beets and made, I think, 28 jars of pickled beets. There's still some more left. We might do a few more in the fall. There's green beans. These bushes are loaded back here. I got some kind of funk on the kale. I had to rip a bunch of it out. It's like rotten and this awful, awful smell. So Chad's a little hurting too. It's time to hack all that back. Oh, forgot to say. Oh, the size of this green bean. That's epic. It's like 3 feet long. Lots of lettuce still coming, plenty of greens for juicing. But yeah, I had to pull out a whole bunch of all that, the kale. Got some kind of funky rot on it. Still haven't got to those brick pavers yet, but we will. Well, yeah, we picked a lot of mint and dried all that out, and herbs. Gonna do some more. Dry out some basil and oregano and rosemary. Been drying out lots of these hibiscus flowers to make the hibiscus tea. Ooh, look at him, he's loving it in there. Bumblebee. Look at him covered. These cleomes. Oops, sorry, horse fly. Cleomes are just totally taking over the garden at the end of the year. Sunflowers are getting huge. We have lots of pumpkins.
The size of that thing.
Huge. Well, huge for us. I mean, I know they get much bigger, but we usually grow the smaller sugar pumpkins for eating. But I don't know, I must have mixed those in. Be good for pumpkin carving this Halloween.
Yeah.
There's lots of spaghetti squash, butternut squash, buttercup squash, acorn squash, all the winter squashes. All right, we'll go into this garden first. Well, second, I guess. We already did the other one. The zucchini plants are just about done, thankfully. Death by zucchini.
Right.
We already harvested a bunch of broccoli and cauliflower, but some of these plants are still finishing up. So we blanched it and flash froze it and then vacuum sealed it. It's a pretty good method. I wish we had a freezer that flash freezed quicker, but you know, the quicker you freeze it, the better. Well, the quicker it freezes, the better. Smaller the ice crystals, so. Yeah, we have some cool purple broccoli here. Doing its thing. It'll be ready soon. There's a bunch right there. These are just starting to come up. There's lots of, I know, we have tons of cucumbers that need to be picked. These little lemon cukes are kind of interesting. Right here. They taste just like a cucumber. I'll get loaded with them here. Might try to make some relish out of them or something. Look at that honker. Have to scrape the seeds out when they get too big like that.
There's a bunch.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. Death by cucumbers. Not sure what this is. I think it's some kind of gourd or squash or something. It just popped up out of nowhere. Some more broccoli. More Swiss chard. So I planted a bunch more beets here. They seem to bounce back. They were a little hurt and tough to see. There's a bunch of little small plants though. Not that we need more beets, but. So I planted a bunch of broccoli rab here. They go to flower really fast, but the bees love the flowers. And it's a nice like a late summer, fall source of pollen and all that for them. They love these Mexican sunflowers too, the honey bees. Well, all the bees, but. So these are all Brussels sprouts too. No expert on growing Brussels sprouts, but they seem to be coming along okay. Just very small. See a few under there starting. I'm not sure if we're supposed to break the branch off or not. I'm gonna have to look into that. We got infested with tomato hornworms. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've always had like a couple here and there that we grab and have to kill, but they literally like decimated this whole area. I just never seen anything like it. I must have picked 100 of them off. Oh, here's one right now, little bastard.
Oh, wow. Huge.
Oh, they're brutal. They are brutal.
Oh, get him.
He's a goner. Adios.
Oh, God.
You got to. I mean, they're just vicious. I mean, these are extra plants, so I got plenty of tomatoes. It's not the end of the world, but it's just never seen anything like it. The corn we're having an epic corn year. We should have lots of corn. And I learned this brilliant way to process the corn too to save. I mean, we'll eat a bunch of it off the cob, but you take an angel food cake pan and you steam the corn real quick, and then you ram it through the middle cone of the angel food cake pan, and the cob goes through the center and all the kernels pop right off, which is why you gotta steam it a little first. Can't wait to give it a try though. I was watching somebody do it, and they went through like 20 ears of corn in 2 minutes. Perfect for like freezing or canning after that. Yep, these tomato plants got wiped out. Still plenty of tomatoes, they'll ripen up.
It's a whole other garden.
We have more green beans. These are the purple ones. And green ones. A mixture there. Got a whole bunch of lettuce. Lots to give away. Some watermelon and cucumber plants there. Just, they tend to like die off kind of early, so I plant them a few times throughout the year. So they, as the older ones die off, the newer ones start producing. This is all more winter squash back here and different things. Cantaloupe and melon. We got a good, nice melon started over here. I'm not sure what it is, but there was a mixture of seed, melon, cantaloupe, and something else. We got lots of birdhouse gourds. See them there. They grow really well. And check these out. I've never tried these before. These are scallop, some kind of scallop squash. They're very interesting looking. I'm just gonna pick it. Come with me. There we go. Look at that, huh? Like a flying saucer. I guess that's supposed to be good. I'm gonna give them a shot. And we have some more winter squash. I'm not exactly sure what those are either.
Oh, look, that's another plant for decimated.
Yep. I pulled one off of here yesterday or the day before. One of those hornworms. Nowhere to lie, I have a bucket somewhere with like 100 of them in it. I've never seen anything like it. So I learned, if anyone else out there has the same problem, I learned that if you plant basil with the tomato plants, you'll end up with far less of them. I don't even know if I caught that. Cat just did a huge jump. But I guess the smell of the basil plant overpowers the smell of the tomato plant, so the moths that lay the eggs, they can't smell the tomato plant, so they miss it. Also, I guess the wasps, remember those ones with the eggs on them?
Yeah.
I should have left them, because the wasps lay eggs in the worms, and then they eat the worms. I saw a bunch of dead ones around too. I was wondering, I thought it might have been birds, but now I think it was wasps that killed them. It's like a natural predator. So it's kind of cool. I've only ever seen them a couple at a time. I never learned up on them until now. Lots of cherry peppers. I'm gonna try to make stuffed cherry peppers this year in oil with prosciutto and cheese in them. They're traditionally prosciutto and provolone, but I've had them homemade before where they do salami, prosciutto, cheese all rolled up like a pinwheel and then stuffed it in. So good. And then packed in olive oil. I'd like to try sun-dried tomatoes sometime packed in olive oil too. All right, this is the last vegetable garden. We have a whole lot of peppers. This is basically like the sauce and salsa garden. So all this basil, it's just, there's so much of it here. And I only found a couple of worms in this garden because the only thing I can equate it to, or it's because of the basil, why there isn't as many here as there was over there. But lots of peppers coming in. We have a poblanos. I believe there's jalapenos in here somewhere. Most of them are bell peppers though. We use lots of bell pepper in the garden sauce. So we do a loaded garden sauce for pasta with tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms, onions, garlic. We use zucchini. I brown it up and then put it in. Same thing with a bunch of eggplant. You brown it up and put it in. It makes the sauce like really silky. It almost dissolves completely into the sauce. Yeah, we basically throw everything in it. And it's absolutely delicious and loaded with all fresh garden ingredients. It's better than that. Cook it down for like 12 hours until it's nice and thick. The size of that sunflower. Humongous. Thing's gotta be 10 feet tall. Lots of cucumbers. I think we're gonna save these ones. They're gone way too far. We'll save them for seed. Lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. Oh no, we have a little more to look at back there. We'll go back there now. This garden's good. It's a lot of the same. So just loaded and loaded with green tomatoes. They're everywhere. Starting to turn red. I plant them like this so I can get a huge batch all at once. Oh yeah, we have eggplant. Oh, there's a nice pepper. Yeah, these eggplants did awesome this year.
There's one there.
Yeah.
One there. Look at that one.
Nice. Yeah, we have a few of them under there.
Got a big honking one. Yeah.
Lots of basil. I'm gonna try drying out some basil and using it over winter. We have lemon basil over here that just smells phenomenal. Back in there. The pepper plants always kind of produce. It's tough getting the peppers and the tomatoes to line up together, so the peppers are always much later than the tomatoes. They'll be loaded at like the end of August. So I'll have a whole bin of peppers and the tomatoes will be all done for the most part. So we'll make piccalilli at that point. Need to make a big batch of that. That's peppers, onions, green tomatoes, and red tomatoes with a whole bunch of sugar all cooked down and pickle and spice.
Like rhubarb here.
Oh yeah, the rhubarb. That's the first year growing this. Might try to make some rhubarb strawberry preserves, a jam or whatever, something like that. Anybody knows anything to do good with rhubarb, let us know. Or if, you know, any other kind of cool things we can make with what we have other than what we know. It's like 90 here with all the flowers. It's amazing. Yeah, this is the spot out here.
Yeah. Oh, another cucumber. I'll pick it.
Beautiful lilies. These orange and red, orange and yellow cosmos. Petunias spilling over the wall. Cucumbers. Hey, Bella.
Hey, come here. You say hi.
Say hi to everyone.
Say hi, okay?
She's a good girl.
She's not very affectionate, but we force it.
She's a terror. She's just a young, she's 9 months maybe?
Yeah.
Yep, he's beautiful. Beautiful flowers. So I've been into growing citrus too. We got a nice lemon tree out here. Oh, so potatoes too. I'm starting to grow potatoes in barrels. I'm curious to see how it comes out. I think these barrels are a little too small. Next year I'm going to build big boxes. This one's not a bad size. But I'm going to build big boxes and grow them in that. See how that works. Much easier to just tip it over and get them out. I've watched videos of people that it looks like they had really good success with it. I think my containers are too small there though. But we'll see. If they are, next year they will be bigger. It's too hot in the greenhouse, so we're gonna bypass that. This is loaded with grapes. And the beetles, just Jap beetles. Anybody know any good tricks to get rid of beetles too without like spraying chemicals? I saw one there that I used. It was sugar, yeast, some gone fruit, like sour fruit. I put in that container. Actually, it looks like there's a lot of them in there, but I don't know. They're just everywhere and they destroy everything. Love these. Amaranth. It's like dreadlocks. Strawberries. We had a tough beginning in the year for those. But they're look at this. Amazing. Yeah, they bounced back quick though. I put lime on them this year by accident. So the soil's sort of acidic here. And most areas where I put lime, you know, the plants are happy over it. They seem to respond well. But the strawberries didn't like it. So I had to take some blueberry acidic. I didn't realize they like a more acidic soil or neutral soil or whatever, more on the acidic side.
Must have gotten about 5 pounds.
Yeah, as soon as I hit them with that blueberry acidifier, they just took right off and bounced back like amazing. I mean, they're small. They're not like big, huge GMO strawberries or.
They're delicious though.
Yeah, but they taste amazing.
And they're awesome frozen, like over the winter.
Those 2 peach trees last year gave us buckets and buckets and buckets, but I learned about the boom and bust cycle. They didn't do very well this year. They put all their energy last year into it. Anyways, this year, I think there's only a couple on them, but they grew. They must have doubled in size. I've been making sure they're fed and watered properly and taken care of. So next year we should have a good peach harvest. We love to skin them, can them, and have like, you know, kind of like canned peaches but in the sugar syrup. And then just eat them over ice cream or shortcake or whatever. They're just so good right out of the jar. Here's the beehives. We are gonna be loaded. It's been a boom year for the bees. Lots of flowers, good weather. The bees are happy this year. Those boxes are all loaded.
You're a good boy.
Hey, Yogs.
Meet the clan.
Come here, guys.
We've got about 2 acres fenced in.
Yep, we
just for the dogs.
2 acres fenced in for the dogs, and the chickens are in the middle there, the chickens and ducks. That's Murph way over there. Hey, Murph. Hey, buddy. Oh, here's the crew. That's Benny, Yogi, Charlie, Zelda. Max is an older dog. He's still in bed, sleeping in. Murph's a little older too. It's pretty amazing though. One year we lost 7 chickens to a fox overnight. Before I had this fenced in, so I fenced the dogs in around the chickens and the dog and the ducks. And since then we haven't lost a single chicken. I'm gonna do a separate video of that chicken coop. It's kind of a cool thing that I stumbled across. That's interesting. If your chickens don't lay eggs over the winter, this idea will fix that. I kind of stumbled across it by accident, but it's amazing. Our chickens lay eggs all winter long. I mean, they slow down a little bit, more like an egg every other day, maybe every 2 days. But they, yeah, they lay all winter.
More blueberries to get.
In New Hampshire too, where it's dark winter, where we get 6 hours of sunlight a day, because they need sunlight obviously to make the eggs, which is why a lot of people stop making eggs over the winter. But I'm gonna do a separate video on that, just showing what I did, in case anybody's curious. Yep, we got so many blueberries. These were little blueberry bushes I got at friggin' grocery store. They were out front, and I think they're high bush. I'm not sure what variety they are, but man, were they loaded this year. Loaded.
Delicious.
Yummy. And they're so good. Oh, cat fight. More winter squash, pumpkins, some butternut. Butternut under there. I grow the squashes out of the garden because they just take up so much room in the garden. So a lot of them I put out here, I make. And everything seems to leave them alone. Like the deer don't bother them, nothing bothers them. That's a buttercup squash, I believe. Yep. Tastes almost like potato roasted. It's so good. And they last a long time, like in the basement, they'll last for 6 months. Need to build a root cellar, proper root cellar. That's next on the, well, not next, but that's soon on the agenda. Tons of watermelons. Kind of tough trying to determine when they're ready.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
There's really so many. I think we probably got like 15 of them. Of course, they'll all be ready at once. I've heard of people doing pickled watermelon or something. Yeah, I've never had it, but I'm kind of curious about it. Excuse me. We have a nice big one here. Well, we grow the little ones because it's a short growing season up here, but that's a big for us there. Lots of these little birdhouse gourds. I actually made a couple of birdhouses out of them. I don't know, they're really cool. I like to grow them. Get tons of strawberries.
Just get her paw on
You're just chilling, huh? And the other one terrorizing her. It's funny, the cats literally walk around with us like dogs.
They'll walk miles in the woods with us.
Yeah, they're the 7th and 8th dog. Still got a few of these left. Oh, they smell so good. She turning Cujo.
Look at me. Hey.
Here's a butternut. Some spaghetti squash. I believe this is a spaghetti squash. Some of them might have gotten cross-pollinated because I plant them all together here, so we might end up some sort of weird hybrids. if that's even possible. I don't know. I've heard it happening with zucchini and squash sometimes.
There was one squash last year that literally tasted like potatoes.
Yeah, the buttercup. Yeah, the buttercup squash. I remember that. Oh, there's one that's no bueno. I thought there was a few more here somewhere. Oh, here's one. We got lots of butternut. There are some spaghetti squash in there somewhere though. Oh, there's a spaghetti squash, yep. Some more butternuts. Lots of butternut. Lots of pumpkin too, these big pumpkins. So we grow the small sugar pumpkins on the other side there, over there. There's a few spaghetti squash. That's about it for the tour. It's amazing. I love this time of year. Everything is just at its peak potential.
Balls in the air though.
Yep.
Smell it.
Can
Feel it.
can feel the breeze is coming, and I don't know. Just feel it in the air. Lots of things to process and preserve, and game on.
Yep. People will be getting a lot of honey this year.
Yep, we'll be giving out lots of honey. Maybe we'll do a short video watching us pull it and spin it out and bottle it up. And I want to do a short chicken coop video showing my little thing I stumbled upon that helps the chickens to lay eggs all winter long. And I don't know, there's a few benefits to it. I'll talk about that on that video. Hope you enjoyed the tour.
Yep. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Hope all your gardens are blowing out like ours are. It's been an awesome year. Just an awesome year for growing and flowers and just everything. Almost time to go make some sauce. I'll be stirring the pot for 20 hours. You know how it is if you've ever made sauce. You can't let it scorch the bottom, so you gotta just stir and stir and stir and stir. Okay. Time to get to work. Thanks for watching.